Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team.
Like they've gelled already, or they're already getting into kind of practicing some drafts, or is this just the mind of envy? What's your take on kind of their direction thus far?
I think that for now they've been picking stuff or heroes that they've been comfortable with, and that in the next couple months we'll probably see them pull out some even crazier strats. But for now, I think they're just going with some comfort picks to get through these qualifiers.
Reserve time.
Crystal Maiden.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Treant Protector.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
I'm not sure if they're happy with where they are now, so they might be trying to mix things up, but their players are definitely skilled and they're capable of pulling out on top of NA. I think they're just trying to figure out how to do that at the moment. So Crystal Maiden's a really stable first pick. She's pretty strong as a support, like surprisingly strong with her 2 nukes, and it doesn't really reveal much about your draft. One weakness of Crystal Maiden though is that she is sort of like a glass cannon, so she's weak against roamers like Tree and Legion, or that duo in particular, and MP will have to figure out a way to draft something to kind of make up for that, so that they can actually fight in the early laning stage.
Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
It is a potential, and Lycan's good with heroes that want to right-click a lot, so Legion Commander and Treant, they like to be in your face, and that bonus health and damage certainly helps a lot. One concern you have when you pick a Lycan, though, is how to make the laning stage work. Because I don't think he's the strongest laner in the game. He's certainly quite tough, but depending on what MP throw at him, Thunderbirds have to be aware of, first of all, the laning situation, and whether or not they have enough teamfight and catch to deal with MP's lineup in the future.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
So you're correct that Bristleback does rely on his team to have a good start, because if Bristleback's team as a whole can't survive bites long enough for the Quill Spray stacks to really kick in, then I think that hero doesn't
Reserve
exactly
time.
thrive because the Bristleback doesn't farm quickly, and he also can't make pickoffs on his own. So that is always a concern. But when that hero does get a good start, that hero is very, very strong, and he takes ancient stacks very quickly too, so it's always a factor as well. And I think it feels like the Bristle and the Troll Warlord ban are targeted mainly because they sort of do well against Abaddon, and Abaddon's sort of that hero you pick to be
10
really
seconds
obnoxious
remaining.
in the lane. Like that hero that the enemy doesn't want the Abaddon to get levels,
5
otherwise
seconds remaining.
the Abaddon's just gonna start terrorizing the lane, pressuring the tower.
Reserve time.
Lycan.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
That howl at night is better than Hand of God, and it gives
Reserve
damage,
time.
so it's a huge team fight ability, and if teams can play around it really well, Lycan's team can really win a couple of team fights that they shouldn't. The howl. To me, one way you can deal with Lycan is to somehow sort of stall his Lycan's ulti, so just be able to
Dire team pick.
make sure that Lycan doesn't kill anyone during his ulti, or like make it as difficult as possible. Slardar is certainly one of those heroes because Slardar can stun the Lycan and still has enough move speed to kind of like close the gap and get away. And you also have Frostbite and Abaddon to shield
10
people and help
seconds
people from the Lycan. So maybe that's an approach that MP are taking with the
5
Slardar pick,
seconds remaining.
is to be able to fight into the Lycan instead of trying to dodge him.
Reserve time.
I haven't really thought of anything for that yet. Maybe
Radiant
any
team
carry that has high armor would probably do pretty decently against Lycan. Bring some suggestions, maybe a Sven. PA is not bad either.
10 seconds remaining.
Lycan does
5
pull out a lot of
seconds
physical
remaining.
damage, so that is a concern when you're picking your cores. Like a hero like
Reserve
Lina
time.
would be less good against Lycan if the Lycan somehow gets his BKB.
Phantom Assassin.
Dire team ban.
Called the PA pick.
10
It could also be a
seconds
mid
remaining.
PA, although I don't know if that's run much
5
nowadays.
seconds remaining.
One concern you have about safe landing the PA is
Reserve
will they
time.
actually be able to zone out the Legion? Because the Legion can purge off all of MP's disables right now. They, I think Magnus has received nerfs to his attack speed and to empower, which makes him less, I guess, farm oriented. So as a mid laner, you might not want that, especially when you have a Abaddon. So these heroes kind of need time to get online, and I think MP is a team that likes to play around timings, so they're gonna want another core hero that can help the Abaddon get to the Midas Solar Crest Radiance or whatever he decides to build this game.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Yeah, Dragon Knight would have been a decent pick as well, because Dragon Knight doesn't exactly die to Lycan easily.
10 seconds remaining.
Like I think NP's looking for this kind of team fight where Lycan ulties, and then Lycan has a very limited amount of targets he can go on. Like, Lycan can't exactly burst the Abaddon because the Abaddon will have his ulti. You can't hit the PA, the Slaughter will stun you, and the CM is probably going to be in the back somewhere.
10 seconds remaining.
Final pick.
Tinker.
See, there's still a... Oh, I wasn't thinking about that, but
Dire team pick.
that is also a good pick because he Tinker can always laser the Lycan during team fights.
Ten
Oh.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Lena.
I believe the Lina is also a great pick because the Tinker thrives in lanes where he can actually laser his opponent, and Lina has the range and the stun to not let that happen. It's hard to say. I haven't seen a matchup like this in a while. But
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
the way I see this, I think MP have a lot more to worry about than Thunderbirds. So Envy has to be worried about getting LC dueled with a Blade Mail, or getting nuked out by or chain stunned by the Lina. And Fata kind of has to be worried about, or Tinkers in general have to be worried about the early game. So before the travels and the blink, making sure they don't get caught out. And if Tinker has a slow early to mid game, then I can totally see Thunderbirds just pushing and ending the game pretty early.
Definitely hit buildings.
Yep.
Little bit. PA is not bad with the blur to kind of up, with an Aegis and hit. Raid, I guess I'm
Prepare for battle.
traditional. TP's out to the bottom lane, Saxa under the cover of smoke. High ground. Vision.
Mike.
Misery will be able to get one down by the Radiant Shine. Looks like it was pinged out.
Alright, I have to restart my Dota, I think, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. One time I was in game and camera got stuck, like as if you're pressing.
30 seconds to battle.
It's been good though. We've had a few good patches without. So MSS getting rid of all the trees. Top.
Alright, we're good. Dota 2.
The battle begins.
Yep.
We're gonna load up with the traditional kind of carry.
So, I'll just talk about the wards real quick. Thunderbirds, they set up this ward not to block the small camp, but directly above this. They should see the movements from both Pylai Die and AUI. Whenever you're playing against the Slaughter, you're worried about him just rotating into different lanes with boots, and if you can keep an eye on him, it gives TB a lot, or Thunderbirds a lot more time to prepare. And it makes Moon a lot less worried about his lane. Feels like Thunderbirds are kind of aware that PA is not the best early game hero against Legion, especially when both of them have a poor man shield. So they start the Rubik down here to kind of help out the first couple of waves, since I don't think the Legion can actually die with the Rubik nearby.
Vision pretty good for both. Either side. Jump. For now, they're going to spend time with Owie, bottom lane. Top lane. Got MSS, he's 1v2. Back, so Trian playing pretty good, at least in the early.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and if Abba doesn't get his first couple of levels early, then Hero sometimes suffers.
Wrap in the mid lane. Fata up on the enemy 3 nearby, but has the Fade Bolt skill. Zone Fata.
Yep. Moon's kind of left down here alone, but he got the first 2 waves in a pretty good place, so he's happy with the way the lane started for now.
Downer in top lane. Run into MSS's Baden, but actually makes it down towards the south. So he'll be safe for now.
Not to mention that all of MP's heroes actually really benefit from the Crystal Maiden aura, so should make the lanes a lot easier for everyone on MP.
Thus picks up his level 2. Moon kind of back to the jungle to get a good little amount early on. Forced to shrine here as jungle for the next little bit. Top lane. MSS just soaking expo. Will jump a little far forward. Gets bashed up now. Has the aphotic shield still. Gonna be lifted and to pop that, and we'll go for the suicide attempt, but first blood will be drawn by Saxa. Get himself a pair of boots. Can get a little more active across the map now. Thunderbirds.
And you saw that physical damage coming up from these 3 heroes, especially with the Howl. And looks like Resolution has a Midas queued up. Get prepared for a Midas game.
Every game almost seems like a Midas game.
Well, especially for Lycan this game, since Lycan sort of needs a certain amount of items to win this game, including a BKB and an MKB to be able to take out the PA and Tinker. So, I think for now, he's going to spend a lot of this game farming and fighting whenever his shapeshift is available.
Metric recently has more Midases, Polar Crests combined.
Oh.
MSS gonna soak from the low ground, looking to eclipse that level 3 mark. Moon's been able to find his 3 and 4 with that Iron Talon in the jungle, so he'll make his way back to lane now, perhaps seeing Ports rotate out and is by his lone bottom lane. MB sitting on about equilibrium in the way of experience, as you mentioned earlier, is a bit of a tough matchup early on.
Yeah. I don't think the Moments of Courage on Legion Commander can miss, so that makes her decent against PA. Although I might be wrong about that. But I think in general, LC has an easier time in this lane.
Ward up by the shrine, Saxa soaking away from MSS. Cabs on Baden. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Fata has taken a docile lead.
I think a huge part of Fada's lane success so far was the first 2 waves ended up in a really weird spot where I think that accounts for the 200 gold difference.
By the mid lane, picked up an Iron Talon of his own. Tough times for offlaners everywhere in there. Slight lead accumulated thus far by the Thunderbird side, and they are the team. 1,500, 2k net worth favor.
Yep, the Legion's doing a lot better than me about him. Because the Legion got a better start, and also the hero's just better at jungling in general. And this tree is looking out for the Abaddon. Might actually be able to kill him here.
Be able to cancel the salve at least. Pop that leech seed.
There's no easy way for MP to deal with this tree at the moment, since their Crystal Maiden and their Sword Art aren't going to be in the same position.
Standard free farm sub 6 minute Midas comes out with resolution. Headdress. Lane, oh, Crush is gonna whiff for Owie, and Dragon Slave for his troubles. For now, he'll grab up the living armor as well. MSS gonna return to lane and at least stave off the dire side from tower.
Yeah. Moon has his duel, and they have the Rubik set up down here too, so they might look for a kill. I think they can kill the Crystal Maiden, but they can't kill the PA. Pai's got to be a bit careful. Moon's
Dire vision in the area.
Yeah, Moon's in a position where I don't think he can get knocked out of the lane easily anymore. Got 1k HP with almost phase boots.
Played on his clockwork and made profit yet.
Tower is under attack.
Tuxa looking for SS again, but he's returned. Owie somehow has managed to get his level 3. Felt his impact thus.
And Slider's one of those heroes that really needs the blink to make or to enable the hero in team fights. And whenever you play a position 4 Slider, you don't get a couple of quick ganks. You always feel like you're more behind. Because a position 4 Slider isn't going to be last hitting anywhere. Under normal circumstances, he's not going to be last hitting anywhere. So he really needs those quick couple of kills to get his game started.
A little bit safe. A bunch of heroes missing. Kind of tentative. Moon, Saxa, and perhaps the word up on the.
Oh. I think that was NP pinging out that there was a potential smoke.
Invis rune on Fata as well. No sentries, no dust. But he is gonna get dueled in time. Laguna Blade for insurance, and Wee gets his first duel and first Tinker. Highest worth target on it.
Oh, I'm kind of worried for NP right now. The PA is sitting very far behind from the Lycan, and Tinker's one of those heroes that actually takes a long time to come up online. It's not safe for the Tinker to sit in lanes until he has travels and blink, and he just died once there, and there's no stacks in the jungle for him. So I imagine NP are using the smoke to try to get the Tinker back into the game.
Every death pre-travels. Really needs to get back out of the rearm. They do get the stifling dagger blink in with Envy, and Fata with his combo will clean up Misery mid. Greatest target, but a kill nonetheless. And
they also give that movement also opens up the lane for Aoi to take bottom lane, but this Legion's preventing him from last hitting, so it's not as effective as they would like.
Back up again. Oh, Aoi in trouble. Gets the crush off, though. Action time. Gonna be pretty much zoned entirely out of the lane. We'll be able to soak some experience.
Yeah. I think Aoi's gonna be the hero to watch for MP since he's the primary initiator for MP. MP can't make any big moves until he has Blink. I think Thunderbirds should be aware of that as well.
Does have 1,000 gold on his person, so not incredibly far, but able to pick himself. A little bit of space for Pi in the mid lane, looking to. Haste rune going to be picked up by Misery. He just takes. Get a ward up.
Moon's actually getting surprisingly close to his blink, so I think that's going to be something to look out for. The Lycan's going to have his Echo Saber as well.
Top lane, Bash and the Leech Seed up onto MSS. Howl's going to be popped up. No Shapeshift there yet. We'll at least get the borrowed time out.
That's sort of big whenever you proc Abaddon's ulti, because I think it gives them the potential to push a tower.
How are we gonna join up with his Abaddon top lane? 3 heroes have Conveno bot lane. B needs to be perhaps not too far forward.
I see TBirds pushing that tower, but I don't think they can make a kill happen here. Not on a PA. Looks like they are backing off.
How he finds top, still looking for his level 6, 1200 gold. His name. Not too shabby. Hasn't been involved in much. TP is going to be cancelled but already got the travels up. So time. Has the essential on the Tinker, looking for the Aoi top lane.
So Envy's rushing of Vlad's. Vlad's is a weird item because it can mean one of two things. Either he wants to farm or he wants to push. Doesn't give up a lot of information. It does both, so it's not a bad item. Let's see. Some
Dalian build for M.
Yeah. So I think MP might have been able to make something happen here, but there's just Wolf scouting out both the Slider and the CM. Whenever you play against the Lycan, whenever I play against the Lycan, I always forget that he might have vision on us, on me.
Nyx or Ricky, bounty hunter that you.
Whenever you play against a team that has invis, it's like you have to be aware that you have to use smokes to make surprising things happen.
Doxa stalking and bottom lane. No one near him though.
His blur is being procced, and Envy's one of the people that would pay attention to that, so I think he's kind of on edge because of
Top
that.
lane. Aphotic shield level 4 by Misery, so this can perhaps facilitate a tower push here. Echo Saber in hand and Shapeshift at the ready.
That's a tough defense. I think Pi will do his best to get the creeps off the tower, but you've got to be scared, especially since Tinker's not quite online yet. They're relatively close on the blink on Slider too, so I don't know if they want to take a risky fight here.
Looks like they will just delay the inevitable here. Resolution be able to hear the last hit on tower. Meantime, Fata doing some jungling. Aoi relatively close. Quick space in the mid lane.
So, for a game with so few kills, Thunderbirds is surprisingly ahead, and I think part of it is just Resolution's had a great time in lane and a great farming pattern with Lycan. But I think Envy felt a little bit pressured several times in the laning phase from the LC.
They need to play a little bit. And right to the mid lane they go. Press the attack up on Resolution. Glyph again. It's going to be popped here. Doxa behind enemy lines. They are going to get the D ward. That's going to tip him off the fact that there is protection nearby. He will end up backing. Dire do grab the tower. No one to secure either way. Starting to find a semblance of map control here with the Lycan Wolf scouting things out. 2 tier 1s off the map, and it looks like they'll 5-man rotate. Bottom lane.
Yeah, we can sort of see a weakness of NP's lineup / early game, that they're starting to lose a lot of map control since Tinker's not quite online yet. Or maybe the team just doesn't or hasn't decided that they want to fight yet. And losing that mid tier 1's actually pretty big this patch.
Oh, mid lane. Envy jumps in rather brazenly. He's going to be difficult to bring down during the dual duration, but should fall thereafter. Does.
You know what he really did? He baited out the Lycan ult and LCL, so no one else can die to it now.
Easy play for Envy.
It's an Envy play.
No damage. Just gonna take one for the team there. No damage secured for Moon on the duel. Either way, be a rather wealthy target down. Did see 2 heroes bottom, so perhaps there's a reason. Wave. Remainder of Thunderbirds was not too. He will take a spell.
Slardar finishes his blink. MPs is going for a smoke here with the rest of his team. Minus Tinker, who's almost at his blink.
That item up. This is probably the strongest they've been all along, and they will find Moon middle lane. Missiles will go out, and certainly not inconsequential as they can look at Roche here. Fata gonna jump in, pop the Lincoln, and damage there. Lycan Wolves will attempt to scout this out. There are sentries nearby, however. But they will at least know how quickly this is going down. Saxa has the overgrowth. This will deter NP. They do get, with the blink reveal though, a target from Thunder.
Yeah, it was a really good kill too. That Legion was pretty high up on that worth. I think, even though they got that Legion, NP are respecting the sort of farm on this Lycan. Not quite just going for the Roshan attempt.
He does have the Deso on top of the very farmed is Rezo. Almost looked like he DC'd there for a moment in the pit. Jump forward, Crush is going to find him, but he's already shapeshifted up. He's actually going to start right-clicking into Roche, but NP have vision here. And spamming from the high ground is Fata. LSA not going to connect on anyone but Roche. Saxa still nearby.
I think both teams are going to be in this part of the map for the next little while. Such a bizarre situation. Neither team knows if they can actually take this fight.
Both sentries will be taken off the map from the Dire. MSS has the Solar Crest, so he's good to tank this Roche. Birds know they're going to smoke up now. Saxa nearby under the cover of... Oh, he's...
I'm going to go ahead and guess that Thunderbirds have the advantage here just because they have the tree waiting with overgrowth. And MP don't have a way out of that, but...
You have a sentry down, actually now backs off.
If you're Thunderbirds, you're wondering who makes the first move here.
Lycan Wolf in time. Radiant do get the kill on Roche. Big overwhelming odds comes out. LSA, or Laguna Blade, I should say, is there, but Envy tanky enough to withstand. They'll be the ones to grab the rope. So a lot of time spent around the pit by Thunderbirds. It's not as if NP were finding trades across the map, but they do end up getting it and the kill for.
I think the #1 reason why they actually got that successfully was because Lycan's ulti was on cooldown. Again, that's one of the weaknesses of Lycan, is if you don't get anything done with your ulti, then your hero doesn't feel as good.
Saxa gonna answer the Solar Crest of MSS zone, so at it overall. They have a Midas and potentially a Solar Crest on Thunderbird's side, just the one Solar Crest. But they will smoke up, Aegis in hand. Fata to join the... They're gonna run into Saxa. Do they have detection for him? They will dust him up, and Crystal Nova will find him in the trees. Self is gonna get an overgrowth off, but probably not long for this world. Yep, gonna be taking out Envy. Find the last hit there. TBirds farming elsewhere, and kind of the plight of a treant in general is to find some information for a team, playing that kind of mobile ward, and will end up trapping for it.
Honestly, that was a really good trade for Saxa. His life for the smoke, especially since MP don't have any of these tier 1s, and I think they were aiming or hoping to get one of these tier 1s with that smoke and Aegis. They're losing on the map control game right now. The heroes are starting to come online.
Farming away, looking for that Aether Lens. Oh, showing in the trees is Moon. Can Aoi find him though? Aoi guesses perfectly. Shadow Amulet is there. Moon.
He's got a... Aoi has a dust too, so he has no idea. That was a really cool play.
And the TP back to the tier 1 has an overwhelming odds at the ready to defend this. Envy will cop a little bit of damage, but got the miscall behind him. The Vlads as well to keep him stained. Living armor will get to work here. Or they approach. Are you gonna think twice about this?
MP used their courier to scout out the... if the Legion was still there.
It'll make its way back to base.
I'm sure Aoi knew that the Legion had only one place to blink, because I don't think there's any other places to blink from there.
Watching that replay, I'm sure. To this one and hoping or wishing he had popped his dust. Fata gonna TP in. Go over to the east. Start queuing up a few marches. Blink back and away from Moon to dodge the home. So it looks like at least one tier 1 will be secured with it for MP. Curse of the Avernus helping them out in that cause. TBirds just not here in numbers to mount the defense. Are TPing in we now. Glyph popped, living on work. Really hard to fully commit for these towers against the DN.
Yeah, Lina has her Bloodstone now, so she's ready to go.
Aegis available. Another minute and a half. We'll see. Hard to this one, but it seems likely not the case with them hacking as he already to the top lane.
If MP don't get any towers, it's really tough for them since their heroes don't siege under normal circumstances. Like ideally they get a pick off first, and if they don't have a tower, especially against a tree who's healing them back up, then they'll never, their chances of making that pick off happen are very, very low. I think that is a limitation of their draft, since neither the Tinker or the PA hit buildings very hard.
Fata starting to do his thing, but yeah, I mean, we saw this tower at 20% HP long ago, and it's already back to full.
And Pure also losing a lot of EXP mid and top. T-Birds are perfectly content just spamming this out.
Definitely aware of the limitation of really paying dividends for them. Meanwhile, Resolution pretty much 8-8 top lane farming, has a full BKB, 1,000 gold.
That is actually so depressing for MP. They've been in front of this tower for I think 2 minutes, and the tower's full HP.
This is expired as well. 3 minutes away from the minimum. Already in the pit. So mid-game critical mass point. Despite kind of the one silver lining for them in this early game, Roche successful position it in. Envy has his Deso. He's working on a BKB of his own, but for all intents and purposes.
Yep. And we have a smoke coming up from Thunderbirds. They have the Shadow Blade on the Legion, and they have Wolves scouting out as well.
Moon pretty scarily farmed at this point. Transition that Silver Edge after his Blade Mail.
Slardar might get caught here.
And he's gonna get jumped and dueled. And they don't even really need much else. Laguna will ensure that they do get the damage. And MP are willing to re-engage here. They're spamming out at least for the time being. Living Armor gonna keep.
They're trying to deter Thunderbirds from taking a tower with us. Whenever a team wants to, or whenever a team smokes like this close to a tower, it means they want to take it.
Press the attack, gonna purge the Stifling Dagger slow top lane. Looks like Thunderbirds will try and settle for the top tier 2. Always a difficult proposition, Tinker and Fata. Bridled aggression.
MP are no longer willing to trade their towers since it's unfavorable for them when the enemy has a tree if you don't finish the tower.
The bottom lane chunking away at Resolution, but this is a Lycan with 100 HP already. Does have the BK. Top lane Saxa stalking Envy. Only has Misery nearby.
Yeah, MP are gonna want to pick up a gem fairly soon.
Down, and they'll jump forward and find him with the dust. As you mentioned, Envy likely keeping an eye on that blur. Knew Soxa was nearby. They run and find him.
That is the Blur Gaming. If anyone would keep their eye on Blur, it's Envy.
We'll get to work on this top tower, and with the tree dead, they should finally get one under their belt. Glyph already expended here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
He's actually got really good item progression. I'm surprised he pulled ahead of the Lina, but I think the Lina's been defending towers for a bit. Fata doing a really good job clearing these camps while his team is on the other side of the map.
Has the Aether Lens up, 3,200 gold in addition as well. Worth the Aghanims this game for the Lycan and LC?
Definitely. If not for team fighting, you get it to deter the enemy heroes from pushing. That's a big part of the eggs. Of course, Lycan does have BKB, but helps with the base defense, especially as Tinker, where you really just don't want to lose any objectives at all.
And the Fiery Soul right clicks are not to be underestimated. It'll be a good while before Moon and we.
I like how both teams are planting these wards on the cliffs and the trees. For the Tinker and the tree, or for heroes in general.
Looking at a BKB here, it's not too far away, about 500 gold. Rezo continues. Arm up. Bottom lane, they're going to go in. They had a glimpse of vision here on Owie with the Lycan Wolves. They'll jump forward, find the duel. A couple of swipes from the Lycan. He only really needs one, and Moon finds himself a third duel game and his first level 2.
Those Lycan walls, man, you never know if you're being watched, or you never think about it either.
Vata, speaking of being watched, standing under a ward here. But no immediate reaction from Thunderbirds. They do get the pick bottom lane decent ways away from structures. Get any... Yes, they don't have a silver egg. So with... Okay, Laguna will just take him from 40 to 0 as he won't be able to get the borrowed time off. We only sitting on a level 2 ult, but it is enough to take out MSS, and conveniently Roche available. So pop into the pit, Howl going to be used here, and they'll deal with this with ease. Big second life to be getting for Resolution here. He is very strong at this point.
Just got an AC coming up. This could be Thunderbird's chance to close up the game. There's the issue of the Tinker Aether Lens Ags, so we'll have to see. Thunderbirds probably want to go for a kill before they do any high grounding, or maybe they'll just go for all the tier 2s then.
And they jump forward, find the duel onto Envy. Do they have enough damage? And they... Oh, the overgrowth is there, but doesn't keep Envy down in time. Rezo still chasing forward, needs to right-click through the blur here. Can he get the last hit? Solar Crest on him from MSS. He gets back to the shrine. Now the Frostbite up onto Resolution. He does have an Aegis. Will pop the BKB. Turns and swipes down the Crystal Maiden. Shapeshift now expiring, though. Bata into the fray. Only lose their supports when all is said and done. Good reaction from Owie. The BKB pop to purge the overgrowth from Envy. Back to safety. They don't really get much in return. Moon does drop, and now MSS does get the borrowed time off this time around. Now Envy learns his lesson. Well, successful base defense overall, I suppose. They do end up getting Moon. Aegis still in the hands of Thunderbirds, though, and Moon will be up soon for the... He's not even level 20 yet. Can get back to work. Well,
Lycan missed many hits on that, yeah. With the blur and the solar crest. I think Lycan's definitely... Yeah, he has the MKB queued up next.
why wouldn't you after a fight like that? Does, you know, stop off for the AC first. We'll help them with the building siege and everyone else. I mean, we saw Pi basically get 60 to 0.
Yep. I'm sure if the Lycan crits that Crystal Maiden is dead in one hit.
Is gonna find Envy is going to find we, excuse me, and slice him to bits. Ends up showing as Owie was sitting in the trees trying to clear the wave out, and will get punished. He was starting to accumulate some of those bloodstone charges in the mid lane. Spawns really quickly, but now down to 10. Bit of a costly death there.
And Nemesis is closing in on this Radiance. I think MP is going for the ultra late game victory.
Cloud9
Yep.
plus game. Or, well, bottom lane. Bata, spamming out the wave, does get back to safety in time before the wolves can scout him out. Reconvenes with the top lane. We will show again. Arch being queued up, Fata. Just a fraction of a second too late. Moon is nearby as well. But his
This
link...
ward spotting them out. I don't think Thunderbirds want to do anything about this.
Rezo, meanwhile, working on the tier 2 bottom, and no reaction in sight here. Fata makes his way to the tier 3, but he'll be too late to party. He's spamming out the wave once again. Saksa now nearby.
Walks right past it.
I'll use Stifling Dagger off. Lurk picking it up.
Yep. I bet he was watching his blur and someone else had to point out the double damage to him.
Shapeshift pop top lane. They're looking for Pi, and this will be an easy kill for TBirds, and it'll be some dual damage as well. 14 dual damage. Legion. However, most important heroes of NP are able to back themselves. Tier 1 still supremely healthy. Not even thinking about pushing that one in mid.
Lycan's got a pretty decent late game talent too, so MP's gotta watch out for that. The increased uptime on the shapeshift.
Oh, I thought you meant the extra wolves. Kappa.
Oh. You get those, they just get lasered.
I don't know when that talent is ever good. I guess 4 mobile wards is okay.
I think you'll get it when you have the Nature's Prophet with the +4 or 5 treants.
Now, Envy. He's gonna have to pop his BKB here, but he gets dueled. They have enough damage. He looks for the TP out. Overgrowth is there from Saksa. And Envy. We gonna just for a little salt in the wound, throw in that 1% HP Laguna Blade. Be down 50 seconds here. Wade's in a decent position. They can probably get a tier 2 off of this as the get a tier 2. Cliff is not available for another 2.5 minutes for NPs. They're gonna beeline towards bottom lane and look to maybe force a reaction out of Thunderbirds. No one really threatening to push buildings here. Owie could be in a little trouble, and P Moon is not gonna be there in time with the duel. Cast that.
30 minutes later, that tier 1 bottom still at full health.
They do get the mid tower though.
Yeah.
The Radiance is well for S, so talk about the missed chance already with the Solar Crest and the Blur. Resolution desperately needing this MKB, and I actually think it's flying out. It is full MK. 4 minutes in. Out of his mind.
I have to say, MP probably have the stronger late game, especially I consider. Let's watch play real quick, actually.
Jump forward, and Owie gonna look to fight this. Fata in as well. Defensive Yules used by Wee here, but he could be in a lot of trouble. He's gonna get blinded up with the laser. They do get the Laguna Blade off though, and they will win the duel against Owie. Still, Envy nowhere to be found here in this engagement. MSS trying to get some work done, and will take one big right click and does get the beautiful Miscoil suicide off, but hero's dead. Pi will respawn soon. No shapeshift available to Rezo, but still high ground going to be threatened here. Up in the air is Fata, and he will get jumped down into the LSA, and he's going to drop here. instantly will buy back. Shapeshift pop by Rezo, who pressed the attack on him as well, and he's bringing down this building ultra quickly. Envy gonna jump forward, but no luck for him, as crits will not help to finish off Rezo, and no Basher in his inventory, so Rezo to back his way out. And now Shrines will be the low-hanging fruit for Thunderbirds. They'll immediately take out the top one. Now Roche contesting is difficult order to fulfill here for NP's side, and costly fight top lane, and unable to get there in time.
It feels like MP can't even fight outside of their base even if they wanted to. PA is not a hero that farms particularly quickly, so relatively Envy is very behind from resolution.
Vlad's Yasha. And Trien, I mean, even difficult kill target, right? PA, we saw Wee there get living armored up, and he was low for a while, but just a Yules and a living armor is all it took for them to draw it out long enough.
I also remember that Treant's Nature's Guy's Bash cannot miss, so that makes Envy's BKB a lot less effective in fights, especially when the Overgrowth comes out before Envy gets his Mata. Feels like MP's lineup is kind of countered in team fights.
Dire structures are fortified.
There's a Silver Edge on Legion too, so MSS has to be very careful.
Can't just die without popping his time. Didn't seem like the Radiance did all that much in the pre-fight either. Did get isolated out though.
Yeah, Abaddon's health pool's still very, very small, and he doesn't have any armor items aside from the Solar Crust, well, which is a lot, but there's an MKB on Lycan, so that's less effective. And Resolution's actually working on Roshan right now.
Let's find the Roche, and he's gonna help him out. I have Cheese for this one as well. A very tall order to fulfill for NP, that high ground defense that is naturally impending at this point. Fata will be able to at least keep one wave out for the time being, but bottom lane and mid lanes shoving in again. Try and use them. Try and eliminate it. Well, in the meantime, bottom by TBirds. Up shrinking. We're close. Died. Manta picked up by Envy though, so he can purge off that Overgrowth post BK.
He has to get an AC now just to survive, or have enough armor to survive the Lycan.
Fata thinking about T on him. Wisely so, we'll second guess him. Over to the west, 1,000 units, queuing up the marches.
Interesting. So MSS has a gem now, and Tinker has his Hex, so Thunderbirds have to be aware of their positioning, so making sure they don't get caught out alone, otherwise you get perma-hex. And there's actually a smoke coming up on top.
They are going to find Wee with the Blink Crush, and the Blink forward. 2 crits bring him down to about 10%. He'll get the Yules off, but he will end up falling, unable to proc that Bloodstone Suicide. He's up in 5 seconds, but still a nice kill for them to find. Shapeshift popped in the meantime. Rezo going to try and get to work on this building mid lane. With the Echo Cyber, he'll put a couple of right clicks in and force out the fortification.
The cool thing is, even if Lycan gets hexed during his Shapeshift, I believe he still moves at his maximum speed. And we actually got the respawn time on Lina. I think I've seen most Linas get the damage, but she does have a howl for the extra damage, but I think it's really good.
Shapeshift off the board for 20 seconds, but already with that extra duration, very much uptime on that, and Aegis still available, but not much expended for that kill top on Lina. Still in fighting shape. Gonna be popped here. Forward from Misery. He'll heal the Aphotic Shield, and Rezo will try and get down this Rax quickly. They'll jump forward, and he will be able
He has a blink.
to blink back. Yeah, there was that fast pig you were talking about. And the blind trying to stop him. Jumping forward is Envy. He's gonna Manta up, but just kind of very little risk here for Rezo as he'll blink in. Oh, he does get hexed up though and crushed. That'll be Aegis taken out quickly, and NP will disperse promptly thereafter. They need to get back in, but they don't have the blink on the Slardar. And they will get the borrowed time off in time for MSS. Overwhelming odds doing a decent amount of damage. NV taking quite a bit with the MKB there under his BKB. He'll blink back in, looking for Rezo. Won't be able to find it. Nice freezing field from Pilot Eye. Will get Saxa. Now Misery in trouble. He pops the cheese, but to what end? He will be able to make it up, actually, to the high ground.
He got his He got the blink off because he had a shield.
Nice two-man crush. LSA is there defensively. Homing missile go out onto Misery. Again, I feel like field will allow him to get his blink back. Jump forward from Tata looking for Moon. He finds him and will get the blind off before the duel. They have the crush from the back end as well. A little bit extra right click damage for the Tinker. LSA will not land, but Rezo, he's back into the fray now. Fata, he is going to get chomped down by the Wolf. And Envy down as well. No buyback. 3 heroes dead. MSS still standing tall. Does have the borrowed time available to him. Will try to turn and fight. Gets it off in time, but very difficult for him to really bring down any of these targets. Will jump. Wait. And maybe looks for a TP here, but no, he'll get absolutely eviscerated in that mid lane. 4 heroes down, only 2 of which have buyback for NP's side. It's going to mean at least a couple of lanes of racks, if not the end of this game 1.
Oh, some very fancy footwork from Resolution. Taking out that Rax with a blink.
Yeah, interesting item pickup at the end, but I mean, he was so far ahead that just the extra mobility didn't really cost him much. A really nice, patient ending to the game there from Thunderbirds' side. Is it... Yeah,